Fully Global TV. Like, comment, subscribe for everything entertainment and cryptocurrency news.
It got wind, I think, to begin November, the fact that other things were at play, namely that it was funneling money to a related hedge fund, Alameda Capital, Alameda Research, and that its underlying currency, its own token, was being sold left and right. That just left the doors open for investors to demand their money back from FTX. And that was, as you called it, a run on the bank. It's so difficult to explain this in normal terms because it is, by its nature, decentralized. There isn't a central bank out there. There isn't, Federal Reserve stress tests or the Treasury Department breathing down their neck. They're based in the Bahamas. So we're untangling this all in real time. And it seems like every day another new revelation drops about what was going on behind the scenes.
We should mention that hedge fund Alameda was run by Sam Bankman-Fried, right? That is the connection between those two companies there. But the damage here is not just limited to FTX, right? What does this collapse of this exchange mean for the broader cryptocurrency market right now?
It's a bad look for all of crypto. I mean, people who face margin calls, there are people who had tokens who had to sell them, who thought that it was a diversification scheme. We were told that crypto is supposed to prevent something like this, that it was a distributed ledger, that blockchain, does not require regulators out there with their microscopes, with their magnifying glasses looking at this stuff because it's self-behaved and it's self-restricted and it's impossible to lie. In truth, behind the scenes, it's
SBF told CNBC that FTX had $1 billion in cash to deploy at any given moment.
It's not going to be good for anyone long term if we have real pain, if we have real blowouts, and it's not fair to customers, and it's not going to be good for regulation. It's not going to be good for anything. From a longer term perspective, it's just that was what was important for the ecosystem, is what was important for customers, and it was what was important for people to be able to operate in the ecosystem without being terrified that unknown unknowns were going to blow them up somehow.
It seemed like SBF had become the white knight of crypto, the lender of last resort for an entire industry. And for a while, things were looking up. The price of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies leveled out, and developers continued to build new projects. But now, nearly 6 months to the day after Terra Luna collapsed, FTX has filed for bankruptcy protection, and Sam Bankman-Fried faces investigations from U.S. regulators and potentially the Department of Justice. So what went wrong? On November 2nd, a report published by CoinDesk found that Alameda Research, a trading firm launched by SBF to trade thousands of digital assets, was heavily invested in FTX's own token, FTT.
It was a question as to whether or not they were, fully solvent or fully able to continue operations in the way that they have been.
After the report, Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao tweeted that the company would be selling its FTT holdings due to, quote, recent revelations.
Then there was this whole kind of back and forth over Twitter between CZ, who runs Binance, versus SBF. And everybody from the Alameda and FTX side said, there's nothing to see here. We're totally fine. We're completely solvent. No questions asked.
But that didn't last. A short time later, Bankman-Fried tweeted that Binance had reached a deal to acquire FTX, did about a day of due diligence looking through FTX's finances, but Binance reportedly didn't like what it saw and backed out of the deal just a day later. With few options remaining to save the company, on November 11th, FTX filed for bankruptcy protection and Sam Bankman-Fried stepped down as CEO.
It's a blow to the industry that we didn't need right now. And it all started because of a simple tweet that CZ did, because it created a run on the bank and it proved that FTX was actually insolvent, which really is devastating to the industry, which you can now see from the prices across the board.